Okay. Hello, everyone. How are you? How is the best community of the entire Web3 ecosystem? Thank you so much, you guys, for connecting to this call and welcome everyone to the March edition of the Astar Community Call. In this call, we will share the most important information that is happening right now on Astar ecosystem. And yes, we have great information like Tokenomics 3.0, dApp staking rebrand information. We have a lot of things to share about a new campaign that we're planning to everyone like you, and also important updates from the Astar governance side. We will want to close this call with the introduction of something great that we want to share with the entire ecosystem. And yeah, let's see to the final of this call. So again, thank you so much for joining us in this call. And let's start with a quick intro that we have for the people that is in this debate with us. So I want to start with Maarten, that is here with us, the head of Astar Foundation. So welcome, Maarten, to this call. And how are you?
Hello, thanks for the invite, Carlos. Thanks for having me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everybody listening in. I'm doing great. I think I don't need a full introduction about myself. My name is Maarten. I'm head of Astar Foundation, and I'm here to talk together with Carlos about the latest updates related to Astar as a collective, but also from Astar Foundation point of view as well. So thanks for the invite, Carlos.
Sure, of course. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And also, we have here a good figure of the Astar ecosystem. And in this situation, we have a Mingshi. So welcome, Mingshi, and how are you today?
Thank you so much. Doing well. Yeah. My name is Mingshi. I'm working on product and engineering at Astar Foundation. Yeah, happy to be here today. Thank you.
Sure, amazing. Okay, well, something that I want to mention, if you see community, is we have a new Astar identity. Also, we are using it here in the presentation. So say welcome and say hello to this new Astar identity. Just science represent the new direction that we have in Astar. So yeah, this is something great. And thank you again. Thank you, Mingshi and Maarten, to join this call. And I want to start the community call with this new presentation. So let's start here. The first thing is I want to share the agenda that we have for this call. Basically, we want to cover the Tokenomics 3.0 update and also what's happening behind this important date for the ecosystem, right? Also, we will be surface for asset dApp staking and chain that many of you maybe see this morning since we shared the update and also we made it public. We want to talk about the 16 license to build, an important campaign that we are planning to run starting from this Wednesday. Asset governance to say, science, asset governance is basically the backbone or our entire ecosystems, and also the place where the people can take decisions. Finalizing, we want to make an introduction on Astar Fight. What is Astar Fight? What is Astar Stack? This is something that we all continue surfacing in our X account. So in this call, we want to share more information about this. So let's start with the first point. And the first point clearly is Tokenomics 3.0 collective execution, right? But basically, I want to start with what's happening behind Tokenomics 3.0, right? So just an important context for everyone, the Tokenomic 3.0 started the discussion in May 2025 and also behind of this. So here we can see and capture or the photo post created by Mingshi when we was proposing to start thinking about our tokenomics. What is not working? What we want to improve in? What is our proposal by us and foundation, right? So this was month, and many of weeks of community feedbacks where you share what you want to see, what you want to be improving in the entire ecosystem. And also we use many platform like forum, discord, and every channel where we our community is present, right? This is something important because if you see, the title is collective execution, and what is the collective is every one of us that take participation of the asset governance and take a decision what we want to see in the entire ecosystem, right? So yeah, they see tokenomics, dApp staking basically together was improved based on community concert, on community feedback, and also on community participation. So this context is really important because right now we see many important dates for tokenomics, right? And this is basically where our conversation start. And I want to start with Maarten, since this is an important day for the entire ecosystem, and I want to see what is the Astar Foundation perspective, right? So, Maarten, let's start from the beginning. Basically, the Tokenomic 3.0 proposal was first introduced to the community back in 2025 that I mentioned before. Can you walk us through how this journey started and what the original version was?
So the journey and the original version, well, we have to go back a little bit earlier as well, like when we launched in 2024 the Tokenomics 2.0. This was also a big change in Astar Network's tokenomics, which took also like quite some time, but this was mainly done from Astar Foundation point of view, where we took everything in our control and we designed a new tokenomics around the Astar token, with of course feedback gathered from the community, but mainly driven by the Astar Foundation. For the tokenomics 3.0, we started from also the Astar Foundation point of view, where we looked into what do we think should be the right direction when it comes to capturing value for Astar, but also to ensure the value for Astar token moving forward. And this is something where we initiated the draft. Why we initiated the draft was that we, before that, received a lot of feedback from community and projects that there was something wrong with the latest design of the tokenomics. And the good thing about Astar Network and the architecture and how everything is designed inside Astar is that we can change tokenomics. We can change parameters. We can be very flexible. And this is why we always say that Astar is future-proof, is because it can adapt to the latest trends and also to the latest market. The Tokenomics 2.0 wasn't anymore that attractive or wasn't working anymore in the current market conditions from last year. So we had to make a change. And this is where we initiated the draft in May 2025, where we started the conversation and also the feedback gathering from all the community members inside the Astar collective. It was not only from our point of view, but also from AFC Community Council, individual contributors to the network, collaborators, and so on. They all took some voice in this conversation, where they clearly stated as well their preferences as well as their thought process about how the tokenomics should look like. This was a very long discussion. At one point, it was that long that people started also to worry about, okay, when is actually the execution starting to happen? And this is one of the reasons why it took quite some time to get this finalized, was because of getting all the voices heard and also all the feedback integrated into the final proposal. So here we are today with the final proposal, where we not only recognize that the tokenomics, but also the staking mechanism needed to evolve. And with the proper community discussions, we didn't rush the implementation. So here you see as well the numbers and what actually Tokenomics 3.0 is. So the supply is currently fixed to maximum 10 billion Astar tokens. I would like to also address to this that it's like literally the max. You cannot do more. And this will take some time to come to this max. And in the same time, or this is what we're trying to do, is also keep burning as well tokens coming, meaning that the max will even be more lowered than the 10 billion tokens. One of the things that has been mentioned for over a year is the burn drop. This is something that still will happen. This is something that we still are pushing heavily as well internally. So hopefully we will get some more news out as well this year or in the next quarter regarding this. Having that in our pipeline, the 10 billion will most likely even top to the max of 8 billion and even further below. We do not know yet, but the cap is really maximum 10 billion tokens. Also, regarding the yearly inflation ceiling, it was 7%. It's reduced to 5.5%. A lot of members are still saying this is still too high. It's correct, but it's like the max inflation. If you would look into the new portal as well as the dashboard, you will see the actual inflation. And this is like around 3%. So it's not that you see here numbers like 5.5%, that this is our inflation. No, this is our max inflation. If all the parameters are being hit, all the staked amount, all the stakers, all everything related to that. So see this as a max, but the actual inflation is even much, much lower. And with upcoming initiatives, it can even be deflationary moving forward. Here you can see as well the annual emissions reduced by 130 million Astar. This is very interesting as well for the value capture of the Astar token. It doesn't mean that your participation in dApp staking will give you like a reduced amount. It will be a little, but over the annual period, it will be around 130 million, which is still very competitive in the current market when it comes to APY or APR of a token. Also, the 80% of the gas fees are burned permanently. This has already been active, but we just would like to highlight this as well. And then also refined through the Astar Collective community decision and governance is where we literally are asking feedback from each and every one out there as well, where we can even be more strict or even help further regarding this tokenomics and further reducing the supply as well. So if you do have an idea, if you do have a feedback, feel free to comment on this as well. Your voices are heard, are read as well. I saw as well the recent comment from Esther Wolf on the forum related to the dApp staking rewards that currently are being issued by the Treasury, that he has a proposal around. So everything is read, everything is taken in consideration. So we do hope that more people inside the collective will raise their voice to even help further strengthen the tokenomics that is currently on Astar. I took a little bit more time, Carlos, so sorry. So I will give the stage back to you. Thank you.
Sure. Very important information, Maarten. Something that you mentioned that makes some noise on my mind was, so we have the proposal in mind, right? But we're launching this in March 2026, this month, this year. What happened during that time and how the community feedback share with Tokenomics 3.0 became? Because you mentioned important information that the participation of the community is essential. But from your perspective, Maarten, how this make this launch important from May?
Yeah, so the good thing about how Tokenomics 2.0 was designed was that a lot of parameters, a lot of um, changes can be done through the on-chain governance, meaning that it's designed in a way that everyone can change any parameter related to tokenomics. So this was one of the commitments that we made in the Tokenomics 2.0, that we also make our tokenomics future proof by ensuring all parameters can be adjusted. So that made tokenomics 3.0, lifted the tokenomics 3.0 to a new level, meaning that everyone inside the community could actually play with those parameters and could see how will this change, what will this change on dApp staking level, how will this change on collator level, how will this change on consensus level. So all these parameters can actually be played with by the community by just launching it locally on their computer, and they can play around. And this really helped us by getting like a lot of feedback from community members who do have some kind of research capabilities or understanding regard tokenomics, that they gave like very good feedback. And this directly influenced as well our decision or our draft or our final conclusion on how to move things forward. Um, so gathering all the discussions that we had on the forum, Discord, and the governance channels, we made it took quite some time, but at the end, I think we can be very happy with how this is currently being decided. And also, I believe it was anonymously voted as well through governance. I think there was no nay vote on this. And I think this also showcased that those who have voted also helped us design this tokenomics, and everybody was like, yeah, this is the best that we can think about as of today. So this was very important for us, having zero nay votes, everybody aligned, because that's the power of the collective, where Astar Foundation can start a conversation, but at the end, it's the collective that makes the decision and approves the new tokenomics. So here you also have like an overview about before and after. I will not go over everything because this is already like discussed in my previous conversation, but it gives you some kind of understanding in this graph about what actually changed. And this is for me like how true, I would say, decentralization looks like, where we have like multiple voices, multiple councils involved, and we're listening, adjusting, implementation, and so on is all based on what the community wants and what the community needs. So thanks everybody who participated. And if you are still not happy with the Tokenomics 3.0, there's always a possibility of Tokenomics 4.0. It will take some time, but you can play around on your local machine as well and play around with the parameters, and feel free to introduce any changes that you feel would benefit the Astar token moving forward. Thank you.
Sure, sure. I want to just highlight something that mentioned Maarten, and is all of these all went through formal governance. Every people here participate in this, and this follow a formal governance proposal that we are always followed on Astar community governance, right? So Mingshi create a proposal in May 2025. The people participate in this, many people providing their feedback, their opinions, and after that, we create a referendum to establish if the committee is happy with the decision. But the important part is this was a collective execution, not a top mandatory action, right? So Astra Foundation is also participating in this, but the community and every people that have ASTR tokens can participate, and they have an important voice of this. This is something important that I want to highlight from Maarten mentioned, because all of these new numbers, this new inflation, actual supply model, this was happening through a conversation with the community, Astra Foundation, and every people that is participating in Astra Collective. And yes, just finalizing, check this image. This image basically it have a highlight what are the most important points regarding tokenomic 3.0 and what happening before, right? So yes, thank you so much, Maarten, for sharing this important information with us. And let's continue with the conversation. And in this point, I want to talk about the second important point regarding tokenomics 3.0, but have its own slide because it's important to discuss this. And is the Astar dApp is taking important changes, right? So again, what is the context behind this? What happened in this? What is basically the people decide or how Astar Foundation take the decision to make this improvement? How was this, right? So I want just starting science tokenomics that zero bring significant changes to how dApp seeking works. But these changes didn't happen in a vacuum. Through 2025, we had a consistent feedback from the community. For example, dApp seeking earning from staking were too low, or they are still talking what expecting dilution with 72 projects competing for rewards and many other feedback that you provide to us, right? So this revamp directly address those concerns, your concerns. The updates simplify the user experience and track project quality requirements through ACC. We will be discussing this more in advance, and also create a more quality over quantity because we are moving from 22 projects to 70 carefully select builder that is take care what is happening as our ecosystem, right? So this is an important point, and I want to start in, with Mingshi, since this point cover many important updates that Mingshi working on, and I want to ask directly to him. Let me to invite to this space. And yes, Mingshi, since you are here with us, let's break down this because we heard from user through 2025 about frustration with dApp staking, the low earnings, token dilution, too many inactive projects. So I want to ask you, Michi, what are the major changes to dApp staking that directly address these concerns?
Yes, we're actually making multiple changes to the dApp staking mechanism. And one of the major changes in dApp Tokenomics 3.0 is that we are reducing the number of slots and number of tiers in dApp staking from 72 projects to 16 well-selected curated builders concentrating on different angles of the ecosystem. And we're also reducing the tiers to 2 tiers, with tier 2 with 6 slots and tier 3 with 10 slots. The core motivation behind that is, as we can tell from the involvement in the blockchain space, that the whole crypto space has been shifting from the noisy, chaotic season to a more cool down and building phase. And during this period, we want to concentrate Astar's rewards and emissions to more quality projects over quantity, as Carlos suggested earlier. And also, we are removing the bonus reward mechanisms for the simplicity of dApp staking because we hear user feedback from the community about how complicated all the restaking over 3 months could be, and how the bonus reward is blocking certain user experience, such as unstaking and etc. So what we are for the tokenomics 3.0, it basically reduce the number of slots in dApp staking, reduce the number of tiers, and remove the bonus reward. And also, ACC will review the project periodically to ensure continued eligibility and activity of each of the project, to ensure we have the most quality projects selected in the dApp staking and receiving the rewards. Yes.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, Minchi, for sharing that information because it's great to have what is happening right now with the entire ecosystem, right? So yes, basically to summarize what the information Minchi shared with us, in this image you can see what is the major important updates we made to dApp staking in this revamp, right? So moving from 72 projects to 16 eligible projects, since we want to prioritize quality over quantity. So in this moment, if you go to dApp staking, you will see the most 16 important projects that we have in our Astar ecosystem, right? Also, we are moving to a two-tier system where we have 6 slots and other 10 slots for tier 3. And yes, more information like this. Science Mingshi mentioned, we are moving to a yearly staking cycle because we want to provide a more simple and easier way to our community participate in dApp staking. So thank you again, Mingshi, for sharing this information with us. And I want to ask to Maarten, so one important question about dApp staking, because yeah, we have this new tire system, and also we have a new reduced amount of dApps in dApp staking, right? So Maarten, can you explain the tire system and how these 16 eligible projects fit into it? Because I want to know what is the Astar Foundation, if this is fit with the Astar Foundation objectives for the builder of our ecosystem. So yeah, what do you think?
Okay. Well, it's a good question. I will not go into names. I will not go into like some projects. I think everybody who has been in Astar ecosystem for quite some time know who are the bad who were let me say were the bad actors in dApp staking. We are, I think, everybody here who has been a core contributor to the ecosystems is very happy to see those being gone. Um, and this is where we really like thought about this 16 eligible projects into a way of what are the 16 projects that actually benefit the Astar holder moving forward, and not only the Astar holder but also the Astar builders. Um, if you look at the let me say like the top 5 projects currently in staking, we have A-Stake. What's A-Stake? A-Stake is one of our projects that is one of the core contributors on Sonium, the L1 designed by Sony Blockchain Solution Labs, and backed by Sony Group, is the liquid staking token of the Astar on Sonium. And this is one of the most actively used projects on Sonium using the Astar token. So this is one core one that we currently see as a solid project. Then we also have the community treasury. The community treasury is, let me say, run by the community council, and it's giving support to other projects, but is also giving support to community initiatives. So if you have an initiative from the community treasury is where you knock on the door to ask for like a grant or for some funding to support the Astar token. Comet Swap is a new DEX or AMM that is currently being deployed on Astar network. So it's great to see that DEX on the 3rd place, because this DEX will give direct value towards the Astar holders if you are participating in the DEX. So check out what they are doing. And then, of course, we have Subscan and Astar Safe. Subscan is the explorer. We need an explorer and we need the best one out there, and Subscan is the best one out there. And then Astar Safe is the multisig team that is supporting us with multisig wallets. So, and then those are just the 5 ones. So as you can see, I can easily go over the list and I can immediately say the value for those projects for the ecosystem. Before that, we had like 72 projects, and I honestly couldn't say for everyone the value for them being in dApp staking. They did had some value in the beginning, but the issue is there is no long-term commitment for some projects. So we decided to list a project that has like long-term commitment and a value for this. So to give it a short, we have 2 tiers. We have a tier that has 6 slots. We have a tier that has 10 slots. How the reward is distributed, you can see this here on the graph. There is around 10% APR for everybody who's participating in dApp staking. This is a very attractive rewards. So even though, yes, it was higher, but the higher it goes, the more impact it also has on the Astar token. So it's like finding the right balance. We still see 10% as very competitive in the market, but giving less pressure to the token. So that's why we see this as a perfect balance that it is at the moment. And then we have the cycle of 1 year, just to reset and not just have the stake and forget mindset that can happen over years to come. So we changed to 10 year, 1 year in this case. Thank you, Carlos.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks. Valuable information. Thank you for sharing that. And yes, well, I want to move to some important and something great because where can I stake? That is the main question for every people that will be joined to Astro ecosystem, right? So the main place to participate in Astro dApp staking is our Astro portal, right? And as we know, and as we shared this morning in our X channel, basically Astro portal have a new way experience for our users and a new brand. Well, I want to show you to the community. So I want to invite to Mingshi to this space because I want to ask about these changes that we made to Aster Portal, right? So basically, this is a new experience that we'll be want to share with our community. And I want to ask you, Mingshi, what about the Aster Portal changes? What will user notice when they go to stake? And yeah, if you share more information about this with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. On the Astar portal side, as we can see on the screen right now, on the Astar portal side, there are 5 main subpages of Astar portal: asset, stake, bridge, analytics, governance, and news. And some of the updates have already been applied to the current portal website. Some of them will be released in the upcoming releases happening in the next few weeks. But the main motivation of this portal revamp is to simplify the user experience and to bring some new colors to the to our portal as a product. And one of the biggest change to the portal this time is on the wallet connection experience. As we know, Asta L1, this blockchain, actually has 2 virtual machines. One is EVM and one is a substrate native VM. And each of them have different wallet format and different wallet supporting the different VMs. It has been confusing to some of the early users, newcomers to the ecosystem about what is H160 address, what is SS50 address, and how do I understand the relationship between those 2 addresses? How do I transfer my asset from substrate native side to EVM side? How do I transfer my asset from EVM side to substrate side? How do I transfer my assets on EVM to CEX, etc., etc.? And we have been considering ways to resolve this issue, and the current solution we are providing is via Astar portal. The new portal allows you to connect to Astar portal not only via EVM wallet, but also via substrate native wallet. You can connect both wallets at the same time. And if you want to transfer your asset from EVM to substrate, you want to transfer your asset from EVM to CEX, you don't need to go to our user docs and learn how to do that step by step each time. You can just enjoy the smooth experience guided through the portal. Just go to the asset page and click the deposit to CEX, and everything, all the UX complexities will be abstracted away. And we believe this could be helpful to the newcomer and some of the existing users in the Astar community. And we are also bringing changes to stake page and to adapt the adjustment in dApp staking v3 about reducing tiers and etc. Yeah, and on the bridge page, this is not yet live. We will be making the release to the bridge page in the upcoming weeks, which will basically allowing users to operate multiple bridges all within Astar portal. And analytics page as well. We know analytics page in the past have some bugs, some issues, and some outdated data. All those problems will all be addressed and fixed in the new upcoming releases. And governance news will include the latest news from Astar blog, from Astar forum, and which will also be included in the later releases. Yeah, on a high level, we're just aiming to make Astar portal easier for everyone to use. And if there is any kind of, because this is a new launch, if there is any kind of issues or questions around Astar portal, please feel free to report in our Discord. And there is also a button on the left bottom of the new Astar portal where it can guide you to the legacy portal if you have something that you want to check on the legacy website. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mingshi. And yes, community, this is something great. This is something new, fresh, and building thinking to your necessities in mind. So thank you, Mingshi, for working on this because it's something great for the entire Astar collective and entire ecosystem as well. So just something that I want to highlight before to conclude this topic is many of this new information that we are seeing in this news today for dApp staking and also for tokenomics have an important governance body involving on all of this, right? So since Maarten mentioned, Asset governance is composed basically for different governance bodies that is taking the voice and also participating actively to the improvement that we made to the entire ecosystem, right? So in this situation, every related dApp staking have the involvement of Astar Community Council, that is a good governance body involving in every important days that take care of the collective and the community, right? So basically, the ACC is taking on a more active role in project review and curation. And also everything related if the project is actively, if the project is reporting what they are doing, if a project is not completing the minimum standard to be part of the entire asset that is taken, basically the ACC will be constantly providing support to this project or in a bad situation removing this project because we want to keep the ecosystem active, the ecosystem, we want to keep it organic for our entire community. So this is something great that I want to share because asset governance is active. Asset governance is our backbone that is help us to build something great for entire ecosystem and is an opportunity to allow every people that want to participate and take a decision in the asset collective can do it through asset governance. So this is something that I want to share and also to keep in mind for every time that you want to participate. So let's move into the next slide. And basically, I want to introduce something great that we are continue building for our community because it's something great that I want to share here. And it's basically what is this 16 likes and to build? It's a campaign with the 16 projects now eligible for dApp staking period 007. We're launching a comprehensive initiative called Likes and to Build. But what it is, this is about showcasing the quality and diversity of builders in Astar. Our main intention is helping users discover this project, what this project doing, and make it easier to the community to decide way to stake their ASTR, right? So over the next 4 weeks, we'll be spotlighting all 16 projects, sharing transparent information about this project, what this project do, and also we are planning to provide educational content to help everyone to understand the new staking mechanisms. Because having changes, and we know that the changes sometimes it's difficult for the people to digest, and we want to make we want to create an easier way to the community to understand these changes. And yes, this campaign is about empowering the community with information they need. You need to participate confidently in period 007. So yeah, As I mentioned, this is an important campaign that we want to use to highlight because we want to help our projects. We want to help our builders to get more recognition inside the Astar collective, and also at the same time, community understand what will be the main place to put my ASTR. In my opinion, every project is a good place to put your ASTR. But throughout the campaign, we want to help you to understand what the project do, what is basically the information this project is providing, and what is the value to the providing to Astar itself, right? So at the same time, we want to plan it to create transparent information about Tokenomics 3.0 performance because we want to share with you what this Tokenomics 3.0 bring to Astar. What is the real changes this new update bring to Astar? So in the coming weeks, we want to plan to share information about the new staking ratios, what is the real emission, what is the real data this new tokenomics is provided to the entire ecosystem. So keep an eye on it because we want to create a lot of content for you to explain you to educational content that can help to make more important decision for you staking or just to keep you informed. So keep on it. Follow us on Next if you don't do it, because many important days we come in with this new important campaign. So next slide. And basically we want to share the asset governance today because we continue helping and sharing information about asset governance. Asset governance is doing this. Tokenomics 3.0 was decided by the asset collective. Asset dApp staking was improved through a public referendum, and we was using asset governance. But we want to share what is the most important days these happening on asset governance in the latest weeks, right? So we'll start for the beginning. And asset governance continue to evolve and mature every time. The decision we discussed today, tokenomics, dApp staking changes, all went through our governance process that I mentioned in the first slides. So let's review some key important days and recent activities. And I want to invite Maarten because this update is so important for the Astar Foundation. And Maarten, basically, I want to ask you, what are the major our governance update you want to highlight? So what is the most important updates since we saw percent during all this call, like dApp staking, tokenomics, but what is other important update that you want to share and how this is connect with the entire Astar Foundation direction?
Okay, I will be very brief about this because the next topic is also something very important to highlight, and I want to keep it in the hour. Um, the most important thing that I see when it comes to governance is still everything that you can find as well on our governance platform. If you go to astar.subsquare.io, you will find all the upcoming referendums and also ones that has been passed. The most important, of course, are the ones related to tokenomics as well as dApp staking for me personally. But also we are utilizing governance also in a way of securing as well as the foundation runway by talking with projects that we have been funding for maybe a couple of years or yeah, maybe a couple of years, that we are clearly saying to them that, okay, now it's time for you to go to the community to see if the product that you are delivering is still something in need as well for the community. So as you can see as well, like we do have this chain patrol, I believe, also up and running. It has protected Astar from fake websites or supporting users from not being phished and so on. But based on the results there, it seems that the community is not that happy regarding their integration because they are not voting in favor. So those kind of things really helps us from Astar Foundation to also listen to the community through governance about the value that they do see and if it's worth for Astar Foundation to keep paying for them. So those are things that I really like about the governance. At the same time, we do have good participation from ACC regarding this, as well as AFC, the Astar Financial Committee, is also heavily looking at the proposals to see if they also need to step in case of something that is not right, and to also support the voting as well. Yeah, this is mainly what I wanted to say. If you are interested in using your Astar tokens, please use them as well in the governance system. You can use them through with dApp staking and governance at the same time, meaning that you do not need to unstake your tokens to vote on governance. You can still utilize dApp staking and at the same time have your voting rights and weight in the upcoming referendums as well. So hope to see you there as well in the upcoming referendums. And thank you already for all the votes you have shared with us. Thank you.
Sure, Martin. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Something important that I want to share with the community is right now in Astar governance, we will be create a referendum because the entire community wants to move to an USD based to ASTR based compensation for contributors. So this is something that we have discussing with the community in Astar Forum. You can go to there and have the entire context of this proposal. But basically, we want to align the contributor and their compensation with the actual situation and the entire situation in the Astar community. So this is something great because the community participate on this, the community decide and provide feedback, and we are moving away from this old conversation to this new compensation toward ASTR base. So something great that I want to share with you because was having a lot of conversations with the entire community. And okay, we can move more to the new topic. Science is something great that we want to introduce with the entire ecosystem, and something great for the side people that want to use something new, a new product. And as you know, we have introduced Astar Stack the last in January. Basically, we want to start introducing Astar Stack in January. And we talk about some products inside this Astar Stack, right? And the first one is Astar Fight. And this is something that I want to talk with you, and I want to invite Mingshi to talk more about this with us. Science is something great for the entire ecosystem. So yes, basically, let's talk about something really exciting for this, that is Astar Fight. This represents the first component of Astar Stack that I mentioned at the beginning of the year. And Astrofy basically is a comprehensive with 3 products that they will want to promote. So Mingshi, please introduce us. What is Astrofy and how it does relate to the Astar Stack concept we discussed before starting this year?
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. Sorry, my network was not ideal. Yeah.
No.
So to give a bit further context about Astar Stack, Astar Fire, why Astar Collective is building this. The context is that, as we know, as we observed from the crypto ecosystem, in order to get more people's traction, attention to Astar and to Astar ecosystem, we need to expand our scope to building more products that can bring more value to different on-chain users, and to find the value proposition that makes sense, that not yet occupied, not yet facilitated by other products. And Astarfy is the product that we are currently evaluating from Astar Collective side to build as one of the Astar products. So basically, what Astarfy is, it's aiming to become a Web3 neobank, an on-chain finance hub, where any individuals can manage their asset, their wealth on-chain via Astarfy, this easy to use, simple application. It will be having multiple features, which helps you to save your money on chain. You can also plan your personal finance by putting them into earn products. And through Astar 5, you will also be able to have exposures to invest in different um, various types of assets across crypto and traditional finance. You can and furthermore, beyond that, in the later stage, we will consider to include features that can help with real life payment and real life spending via potentially crypto card. So to put it in a simplified way, what we will be focusing on for Asta 5, it is a basically aiming to resolve all your complexities of managing your wealth, manage your spending, better planning your personal finance on chain. And I won't get too much into details about each of the feature and what we will be building, because this is something that we will be sharing in more details when getting closer to the launch. We don't want to spoil too much details um, at the current stage, but yeah, it will be we're aiming to build this as your best helper to plan your personal finance on blockchain. Thank you.
Excited for this, Mingshi. Really great because wow, a great product for us, our ecosystem. That will be something great. So thank you so much for sharing this today with us. Yeah, of course, we are in an early stage. We know that, but we know that we are building something great. And this is something that we announced beginning of the years. Also finalizing the last year since we mentioned the new direction of Astar taking. And yes, so as Martin mentioned, starting our first community call of the year, basically we are planning to move to a product launch for Astra ecosystem, right? So this was the entire and the principal mission of Astra Stack. That is the building something product that the people can use and bring value to Astra ecosystem at the same time. So since having this in mind, Martin, I want to ask you, Astra Stack, Astra 5, Astra Word, and also the new product we are planning to launch in the entire year. I want to ask you, how does Astra 5 fit into Astra broader ecosystem strategy? How Astra Foundation is connect with this, and also what will be the value this will be bring to Astra ecosystem?
Okay, a very short answer to this. A clear narrative, a clear direction, basically. We all know a general purpose blockchain on Polkadot is a dead end. This will not work at all. This is why Esther already did like multiple steps. Before this one, we tried the L1 route with the Zk VM, which failed due to some technical reasons of the CDK stack that we used. We also have been very active on the Estonian side, which I still see this as something very valuable and will lift up. I'm 100% sure. You just need to give it time. I have high confidence. And then we have other opportunities laying in head that will fit perfectly in the SFI idea, where we actually create like a product that a lot of people will use, and also something that I still miss as of today by being a Web3 legion for, or being in the Web3 space for more than 10 years. The thing that we are building are things that answer to my needs and will solve a lot of things that I want to have as a Web3 user. Not only thinking about the Web2 space, but actually you as a Web3 holder, which we see a huge amount of people coming in already. And I think that the product that we would like to give to those people is solid in a way of people will actually use this. And this will bring as well direct value to Astar, because people will see that the Astar name itself is heavily used, and also will have a place as well for the Astar token moving forward. But it's a product that people will use. And everybody knows that just having a general purpose blockchain in the current market as it is a dead end. And that's why a lot of people are focusing now more on the products. And this is also where Astar is heading to as well. So for the Astar Foundation, we are very happy to take this direction and to really give something back to the Web3 users about what they actively will use and on a daily basis. So I hope this is something that we can deliver, and that's why I'm very bullish on this direction, and also very bullish on seeing this live and ready this year. I want to say a date, but I'm very careful here. But let's say it will be sooner here than you think. So that's it. Thank you, Carlos.
I'm something bullish too, Martin. This is something great. I'm really happy with this direction because it's building something that the community and every user can use, but at the same time, is building something that will be bring back value to Astor. So something great, really bullish. I'll be waiting for this, and also I'll be working a lot to make this happen into community. So yeah, here you go, community. This is something really important, really relevant that we want to share with you. And yes, here we can conclude the call. So I want to say thank you, all of you, to join us today. This has been a landmark session announcing Tokenomics 3.0, dApp second reband, our Listen to Build campaign, and also governance updates and the introduction of Astrify. So thank you for bringing this call. And remember, all these details will be shared in our announcement channel. So follow us on X, follow on YouTube, and also join us, our community on Astar Discord, and start participating in Astar Forum, because the Astar Forum is the main place where the important decision is taken by the Astar collective, as Maarten mentioned. So we'll now open it for a new community participation, new community feedback, and also start collaborating with you. So thank you for being part of the Astar Collective. Thank you for joining us the call, and we'll see you in the next section. So bye-bye.
Thank you.